London's calling. Do you know that?
Hello.
Should we go to the phone and talk to London?
I would love to talk to London. My favorite Londoner.
That's our friend Paul Coyte joins us live from London. Good morning, good day, good afternoon.
Hello, this is London calling. This is the London Bureau from London calling, and the big news is that the sun is out and it's stopped raining and spring has sprung.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you for your time. That's Paul Coyte. Paul Coyte. Paul Coyte's one of the many stars of GB News, but the one that I always watch. I'm telling you, this GB News app, which you can download on your phone, obviously there's a 5-6 hour time difference depending on the time of year. But this is the best app I've ever seen in radio or television or entertainment because you can literally right now go back and scroll through the morning show that Paul's on, and you can see Paul's fantastic television performance this morning and every day.
I love it.
So it's really good. It's GB News, so you should check that out. In top of the hour in about, 25 after? Is that right?
Yeah, about that. Yeah, about 25, 30, around there. Have a little, it's around that sort of area, and at the top, and sort of on the hour.
I would just think of, a culture that's so tied into public transit and running the trains on time that, you'd be a little more timely with when you're on. You know what?
Quite frankly, so would I. But unfortunately, that's young producers these days. I don't know whether you have this, but young producers, they're not timely like it should be. It should be dead on.
Yeah.
It's very, very important to us, the time. Spend a lot of time telling the time. My grandfather used to say, if it was 25 past, so what would you say if it was 8:25, you'd say 8:25, or would you say 25 past 8? What would you do?
8:25.
8:25.
He would say it's 5:20 past 8. And isn't that great? And that's the only thing he would, 5:20 past 8. And it was the only time that would apply, the something and something past something.
Well, that's a wonderful way.
5:20 past.
It's a wonderful way of speaking in what I call Old English. But I have a theory about that, having been in London many times and in your country many times. This is one of the reasons you lost the war. You spend so much time saying things that there was plenty of time for us to sneak up behind you and attack. That's all.
Well, what happened is they said, right, we're going to kick those American butts now. At what time?
5:20 past.
5:20 past. And a lot of the soldiers were like, what's 5:20 past? And that's probably why we lost the war. I'm glad we've realized that, and we're very well worked out. I think you're absolutely dead on.
Well, that's all I'm saying. Andrea, say hi to Paul. We were talking about Prince Harry and the King not getting together.
Paul, I'm so happy to talk to you. I want to ask about Kate, but I know we only have a limited amount of time with you, and we have to ask about Harry and his relationship with the King.
Yes. Well, look, it's understandable, isn't it? I mean, the King is a busy man, and if your son calls in, you have to make an appointment at least 3 months in advance. So it's understandable that he hasn't had time to see him. It's nothing personal. It's just that if your son wants to see you, then you have to make an appointment. And if he hasn't made an appointment, the King is a very busy man. He's got people to see. He's got crown jewels to clean. He's got thrones to sit on and lovely dinners to eat. And
well,
so
but
if you
now
don't
see,
make your appointment, you don't get in.
I heard the other side of this, though. I heard that part of the reason the King couldn't see Harry is because Harry had too many demands on who could be in the room when he did see him.
Yeah, probably. And you know what time it was booked for? Do you know?
High noon.
No, 5:20 past 12.
Of course.
See?
Problem.
Oh, I'm
Half
sorry.
of the problem, you see, that's when the kid. So no, it's not good though, is it? There's trouble there. There's trouble there, and will it be resolved? I have absolutely no idea, but certainly won't be in the meantime.
No, I was thinking about you yesterday or the day before when I saw this story, because knowing how you feel about your kids, knowing how I feel about my kids and my grandkids, I had lunch with Ross yesterday. He's very busy in his own job and his own life.
Sure.
And you treasure that time, and it becomes less and less and less. And for Harry to come in and not see his father, it just seems like an idiotic waste.
Well, Harry also disparaged his family.
Yeah.
I mean, and wrote an entire book about how, they were
As
off the
did
people.
Ross about me.
No, that's just what he calls and tells all of us.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it was different.
How's Kate? We should ask about more important things.
Well, again, we don't really know too much. We we're not really hearing too much. It's very much off limits. So we don't really know too much about Kate or how well Kate is. So I think the press are actually being respectful towards her. So after we had, which is good, which is nice. So we don't really have any news, to be honest with you, Andrea. So I can't really tell you anything. I would tell you. It's not I can't tell you because I won't tell you because I can't tell you because I really don't know. But as soon as there is,
that's why I love you, Paul.
As soon as there is anything, you'll be the first.
Yes, I love your honesty.
All right, so Paul and I have known each other and been best of friends forever. And appeared on each other's shows for well over 30 years, I guess, at this point.
30, over 30
years. Over 30 years. And we were always able to bring the two cultures together because we didn't have the internets back in the day. So there were things that went on in your country and things in our country that weren't automatically known. Now, in the world, everybody knows everything right away. But I do have some questions. I do have some.
Okay.
What is the deal with public nudity? It seems like it's perfectly fine in Europe, but I like to think that you Brits still have hang-ups.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair. Back in, I think probably if we look back to the late 70s, early 80s, if you went on holiday, you went on vacation to anywhere in Europe, and you went to Spain or Italy, there would be topless women everywhere. For a young man like me at the time, quite frankly, my eyes would pop out of my head. It was just...
Boing, 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 yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was. That's just exactly how it went. But the thing is, that's all stopped now. And I don't know whether the whole of Europe is more prudish than it used to be, but it used to be if everybody would, it would be told. And I'm not just talking about the men either. I mean, everybody would be. So whereas nowadays, everything seems to be a bit more prudish, which is a bit bizarre. I would kind of imagine that things would get the other way, but it hasn't. We seem to be even more hung up on that sort of thing than we used to be.
All right, so
when you say public nudity,
yes,
I think there are nudist beaches, but to be honest with you, I've never really understood that.
It's mostly just members of parliament. MPs, members of parliament who are mostly nude. So
yeah.
All right, so this is a round of, Andrea, is it okay to do there? I have a list of things here, and if you think I want Andrea, jump in as well. But what about cursing?
Yeah.
Is cursing okay?
Cursing, swearing, what in public, in what?
Well, just in general. You're in a public square. You're in Piccadilly, and you're there, and you're having a conversation, animated conversation, and somebody's dropping F-bombs. Is that okay or not okay?
You know what? I think it is. And the thing is, there are some words, and I'm not even going to say the letter it begins with, I think of the worst word you could possibly think of.
You mean bollocks?
Which started appearing now.
You mean bollocks? Words like bollocks?
You know what?
You mean bollocks? Is that what you're talking about, bollocks?
Well, I'm not talking about bollocks. I'm not talking about bollocks now.
I can't believe you said bollocks on my show.
You know what? I still get a kick from saying the word bollocks on your show because I still couldn't get away with it.
It is a filthy curse word there. Bollocks in London is as filthy as the C word is here. Yet the C word there is used.
It's commonplace.
This is a bad one too, isn't it?
It can't be. Ask him. Ask him. It's okay. Say it.
No, I can't say that.
The C word is used left, right, and centre. People throwing it around all over the place, and it's almost a compliment to say to someone. Yeah. Whereas when you hear, it really is. But yeah, we do like to swear here, but we do it politely. We do it in a polite fashion.
All right, stick around for a second. Hold on a sec. We got to do a traffic, but stick around because I have more to cover with you, including Andrea's note. What does he think of a wanker? Stand by for
say that.
No.
To cover, it's Paul Coyte. My friend Paul Coyte, GB News. Paul Coyte also with the Tottenham Hotspur Football Club of the Premier League. Now in its 50th year of breaking his heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Is that fair?
Yeah, very fair.
Mm-hmm.
All they do, they just break my heart every year. I'll tell you a really bizarre thing, though, is that Arsenal, who are the fierce rivals, as you know, of Tottenham Hotspur, look very likely that they might win the Premier League, which is just the worst thing that any Spurs fan could imagine.
Sure.
But it's in Spurs' hands. So Spurs need to play Manchester City on Tuesday. Now, we would need Manchester City to beat us to stop Arsenal winning the title. Do you see what I mean?
So there's incentive for fans to tell the Spurs to take a dive.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not going to happen, but every Spurs fan that you speak to will say, this is a game that we would like to lose. So even if it was a matter of Spurs not qualifying for the Champions League, which is a huge tournament across Europe, and we qualified for the lesser one, most Spurs fans would rather miss out on that than have Arsenal, the rivals, win the title.
The whole point is ruin Arsenal.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
All right, we're playing a round of is it okay there? Is it okay? Is it okay in the UK to ask a woman her age?
Is it okay? No, it really isn't. No, I've tried that a few times.
That's like a universal no.
Sometimes I've aimed low, and then I still get it wrong. So, no, you can't do that. Is it okay there? Is it okay?
No, it's not okay.
If a woman ever asks you, how old do you think I am? Whatever you think, subtract 10 years minimum.
I always say 7 months. 8 months. I just want to make sure I'm low enough.
I've gone low, and someone say, how do you think I am? And I'll go low, and it turns out even the low is over.
Yeah, go 15 years. 15 years down.
Yeah, there's no win.
Hey, Paul, I want to know how do you become a dame or a sir? Do you have to nominate? Because I think you should be Sir Paul Coyte.
Oh, that's for sure.
Well, actually, Andrea, I really appreciate that, but it's Lord Paul Coyte.
It's Lord. So what about
Lord?
Like Sir Paul McCartney? Is
Yes. He's not, I was with Rod Stewart on Sunday. Sir Rod Stewart. What are the chances of that?
What was that about, and why didn't you call me?
It was, well, you know what? It was a charity soccer match, and I was there, and they asked me to come along and host it. And there was Ray Winster, the actor, was one guy who I wasn't scared of, so I spoke to him. And then in comes Rod with Penny, his wife, walks in, looks kind of like a waxwork of Rod Stewart. It was really quite bizarre. It was like if you went to Adam's Swords and you saw the waxwork of Rod Stewart, that's what it was. He looked good. He had his turned-up jeans. He looked $1 million, slightly over-tanned, which I think was a bit of something on there that he had in his face. Hair was all the... So he went and sat in the dugout bit, which is where the managers sit. And these kids, it's like parents are sending their kids over and just going, look, that's Rod Stewart. Go and get your picture taken with him. These kids have no idea.
Nah, they don't care.
Who this strange woman who probably looks like one of their aunties is. And he sits, they sit next to Rod, and he's like, it was bizarre. But he's a knight. He's a knight of the realm, Sir Rod Stewart.
And he is Roderick David Stewart. He is 79 years old.
Yeah.
He has been married only 3 times, which is surprising to me. Because he has, I believe, 8 children ranging in age from like 10 to 55.
Oh, that's Rod for you. I know, that's Rod. That's why he's Sir Rod Stewart. That's it.
All right. Is it okay to be late?
Is it okay to be late? I always say fashionably late is okay. Fashionably late, just a little. All depends what it is. All depends what it's for. Because there's different criteria. So what would you be referring to exactly?
I mean, just in general, because in Italy, being late is being early.
I can imagine. So you've got to be very late in Italy to be on time. Is that right?
That's exactly right. Is it okay to burp or belch in public?
Now, I have embarrassed my family with this situation. We were in Finland, so I can refer to Finland. I don't think Finland is mentioned on your show enough. Is that fair?
That's absolutely true. Yeah, you've always had an issue with that.
I have. You just don't pay respect to the Finns enough. So we were in Lapland, and I'm very comfortable with belching around the house. And it's just something, I couldn't belch until I was 25, by the way. I've told you that story, haven't I?
Yes, you have, which is very funny.
So anyway, so I walk into this restaurant, and because I was feeling comfortable and relaxed, I let out a huge belch, and I had no idea what I'd done. And the whole of the family, my wife and the 2 children, were just absolutely aghast at my disgraceful behavior. And people at other tables were looking at me, and I couldn't understand why. But it's because I belched very loudly in the restaurant. So the answer is no.
Okay.
It is not a good thing to do.
All right, we only have time for 2 quickies. Yours.
Yeah.
You have a question? Because I have a big closer.
Well, I still want to know if I can nominate Paul to be a sir.
Yeah, you should. You should put that paperwork in today.
Yes,
all right.
Yes,
Dear
please
Crown. Is it the Crown or Dear Crown?
Is it what? Dear what?
Like I'm going to write an email to the Crown.
She's got to write an email to the royal family.
But I have to address it to the Crown.
Do you address it to the Crown? How do you address it?
Sir Kate. Well, you don't to the Crown, to to, you know what, to whoever it may concern.
Okay.
Funny.
Oh, that'll go right to the top of the pile.
You know what's funny? Paul's not even in London. And finally, Paul Coyte, GB News, the most important question of all: what's the deal with what's the deal with the bidets?
No, B-days, not bidets.
Oh, B-days.
B-days. You know what? They've been knocking around for years, these B-days, and I still don't think I've ever used one because I've never really known how to use one.
And the handheld ones with like a shower sprayer.
That's just called a shower.
No, the shower sprayer that's attached to the bidet, the bidet.
B-day, yeah. I think isn't it just it's just sprays the business, right? And that's all. I don't really know why.
But once you, it just seems like it makes a bigger mess, and you need a beach towel. And then who wants to take care of that?
I wouldn't know how to sit on one. I wouldn't know how to work one.
Right.
I mean, I always just thought they were small urinals. But that apparently is not.
So do you prefer a bidet or a urinal?
I would prefer always a urinal, as long as it's got one of those little things that you can aim at in there, like those little soap things.
Yeah.
But the bidet throws me. I don't know anybody that goes, "Oh, lovely, a bidet. I'll go and sort myself out there." I don't think so.
This has been highly entertaining.
How many times have you been around your friends? You go, "Excuse me for a minute, I have to go sort myself out."
Yeah.
Yes.
In the double-essay.
Firstly, would you mind if I borrow the toilet? It's like, because you don't really want to go, can I go to the toilet? You tell me where the toilet is. You have to go that way. Go. By the way, would you happen? I'm not saying that I have a problem, but would you happen to have a bidet?
Right,
I don't think.
Right, wouldn't work. Well, we wanted to end on a classy note, and we did. It's my friend Paul Coyte.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Live from London. Get a nap.